Hi everyone, and welcome back to part 6 on how to make a first-person shooter game in Roblox. Before I start this tutorial, I just want to let you guys know that now I have Patreon, so if you guys want to support me there, the $1 tier will give you access to one helpful module or script every month, and the $10 tier will give you one useful module every month, and all of my tutorial files. And also, some people got the $1 tier and said there are no tutorial files out there. You scammed us. No, it's literally right here. Access to all my tutorial files in $10, not $1. So yeah, if you guys want to support me, you can go to patreon.com/PolarisProg. Okay, so let's start. What we'll be doing in this tutorial is making a nice menu screen. So what we'll be doing is adding a screen GUI to starters UI. Let me just make this a bit bigger, and we'll add a frame. Now you want to make the frame size to 1, 0, 1, 0, and we'll rename the frame to menu. So menu. And after doing that, what we'll be doing is adding a text button or an image button. This will be the deploy button. And before I actually do that, let me just make the background color of this to something like a nice darker gray, something like that. Okay, so we will have this right here. This will be the deploy button, as I said, and you want to change the size of this to something like 0.1, 0, 0.1. Now what that would do is, oh, I messed up, sorry. 0.1, 0, 0.1, 0. Now what that will do is just convert it to scale, and now you want to just scale the button however you want, and as you can see, it will still be converted to scale. So we will make it something like that, or maybe a bit smaller, kind of like Arsenal. And I'm going to have one right here, and this will be the deploy button. So rename your button to deploy. After doing that, I'm going to add the UI corner. This is totally optional. I'm just doing it to make the UI look a bit cleaner. And we'll change the text to deploy and text scale to true, and the font to something like a nice font. I really don't know which one to use. I'm just going to go with a random font. Arial bold seems pretty good. I'm going to change the text color to maybe white. Again, this is totally optional. I'm just doing a little bit of UI right here. I'm going to have a nice blue deploy button, or maybe a nice orange. Okay, so that looks pretty good. I'm also going to turn off auto button color to not have that color effect when you click on it, which is pretty annoying. And maybe you want to have some more stuff here. We'll add a character viewport right here very soon. So we're gonna put this, let's rename this to locker. We won't script the locker in this episode, but we'll do it later. Yeah, locker. Locker. What's wrong with me? Locker. And we'll also have shop. And I forgot to make it all caps. Oh my god. I finally spelled it right. Okay, so after doing that, we'll put this right here. We'll spend some time making that, and I'm going to put these buttons right over here. I'm going to rename this to shop, and I'm going to add another button for the settings. So let's make this a perfect cube. Let's just make it something around 101 by 101. Okay, 102. Couldn't really get it right, but that's not a problem. So we're gonna put this right here, and I'm going to change the color to maybe a red, or maybe a nice, let's go for a Let's go for the same color, I guess. Now let's change the text to settings. Okay, so now what we will be doing is getting a nice decal from the library. So let's search anything on the library, not Roblox, and people in library, and we'll look for any decal that has a nice settings icon. So let's look for settings, and I think I'm going to go with this one. So I'm going to copy the ID, add an image button to this. I'm going to change the text to nothing first, and I'm going to add an image label, and the size to 1, 0, comma 0, and the image or the background transparency to 1. And I'm already wasting a lot of time in UI design, so I'm probably going to get to scripting very soon. I'm going to change this to the ID that we want, and the image color, and I forgot to change the image color. Great. Okay, so I'm just I wish this was white, but that's not really a problem. I think we might want to look into another one. Okay, so as I said, this is optional, so I'm not going to waste time going for a nice settings icon. What's this? Bro, what is that? Okay, so we have that. Now we're gonna make the deploy button work. Now what I want to do is make this transparent, so maybe, yes, let's make it transparent. And this might look really bad right now, but trust me, when you add a nice blur to the lighting, when you add a blur and change the size to something like that, it will look pretty clean. Okay, so we're gonna just change the blur size to 0, press this little UI button right here, and we're gonna remove the gun from the starter pack. So I'm going to go to the starter pack, I'm going to put the gun inside of the main game folder. Actually, I'm going to add a folder and rename this to character guns, and you want to put pistol inside of the character guns. Okay, so after doing that, what you want to do is just go inside of, you add a local script to start GUI, delete this local script, and inside of client scripts we're gonna add a local script, and we're gonna rename the local script to something like client or menu, or maybe main underscore client. And also, I love the font that ROBLOX Studio just added. It looks really nice. Okay, so we're gonna sorry about that. Okay, so I am back, and what we'll be doing is creating some variables. So we'll create a variable for the menu for the screen GUI first. So rename the screen GUI to something like main underscore SG for screen GUI, and local. And here we'll get firstly try to get the players service. So is equal to game on get service players, and we'll also get the I think we're gonna get the main screen GUI. So local lighting is equal to game on get service lighting, and after doing that we'll get let's get the main screen GUI. So these will be the services, and after doing that we'll try getting I think we're gonna get tween service. So local tween service is equal to game get service tween service, and after getting all of these services we're gonna get some references. So references, and we're gonna get a reference to the main screen GUI. So local MSG is equal to, or actually that sounds more like a message, so main underscore screen, local main underscore screen underscore GUI is equal to, and script dot parent gonna wait for child main screen GUI. Now, the reason why we have to use a wait for child is because of this is a client script, so we have to. You gotta be sure that the item is actually loaded, since you never know really. And after doing that, we're gonna get the menu. So main screen GUI can wait for child and menu. After getting the menu, we'll get the deploy button. So local deploy is equal to menu can wait for child deploy. So what we'll be doing is getting the camera. So local camera is equal to workspace dot current camera. Okay, so we got the camera. Now exit out of the script and we'll create a part. Now you want to right click on the part, go to show orientation indicator, and this is the front surface. So it will tell you where the front surface is. We're gonna make this something like red, and as you can see, the front surface, the part is facing right here. So you want to move this part wherever you want, make sure it's anchored, and we're gonna rename it to camera part. And maybe I want to have it right here, or maybe a nice little room. You can do whatever you want again. So I'm going to have it right here. Okay, so we're gonna wait 2 seconds, and what we'll be doing is camera type is equal to enum.cameratype.scriptable. After making the camera scriptable, we'll do camera.cframe is equal to workspace camera part.cframe. Make sure you copy the name of the camera part so that you don't mess up the name. And after getting the camera part C-frame, we will put it right there. And yeah, let's try this out. So we'll play the game and wait 2 seconds. Our camera should go there, but it does not. So as you can see, wait for child is not a valid. Okay, so that's very simple to fix. I just spelled wait for child wrong. That should be fixed now. Let's play the game again and see if it works. So 2 seconds, and as you can see, our camera is teleported right there. Okay, so we got that to work. Now what we'll be doing is menu dot visible is equal to true, and we'll make sure that the menu is invisible right here, and we're gonna create a variable for the blur. So local blur is equal to, and inside of your lighting you want to add a blur effect. So add a blur, make sure that the size is set to 0, and we're gonna do lighting on wait for child blur. Okay, so we're gonna do blur dot size is equal to and 20. Now let's see how 20 looks. So 20 should be something like this. Yeah, that looks pretty good. So after getting the blur, what we'll be doing is deploy. Why did I rename it to deploy? Okay, deploy dot mouse button one click connect function, and in here we will. Why do I still have it at deploy? Okay, deploy. So after doing that, all we have to do is create a tween. So local blur tween is equal to tween service create and the blur, and we're gonna have a tween info.new, and this is going to be how long it will take. So let's have it at let's have it at 1 second, and after doing that we'll have some brackets, and we'll change the size to something like, yeah, we're gonna have to change it to 0. In fact, let's make this a function. So local function get out of menu, and we'll do this, and we'll have it at local blur twin is equal to that. Okay, so after doing that, we'll do deploy dot mouse button 1 click connect and get out of menu screen. So get out of menu and make sure you remove the brackets and only put these brackets right here. And after doing that, we'll make the menu invisible. Menu.visible is equal to false, and we'll create a tween for the camera. So local camera tween is equal to, and tween service create, and the camera, let me make sure I'm still recording, yes, and we'll put a tween info dot new, something like 0.2 seconds, and we'll do the C frame. So C frame is equal to, and yes, so here's what we'll be doing. We're gonna create a variable right here for original C frame. So local original C frame is equal to camera.C frame. Okay, so after getting the camera C frame, or actually let's do that right here. And we will tween it to the actual camera C frame. So original C frame, and then we'll play the tweens. So camera tween on play, and blur tween on play. Okay, so after doing that, we're gonna make our menu visible, and we'll go ahead, play the game, and see how that looks. Okay, so as you can see, we're having a nice blur. We're gonna press deploy, and the blur should go out and it should tween our camera C frame. Okay, so that does work, but we still want one thing to work, which is make the camera type scriptable. So wait 2 seconds. I mean custom. So camera type is equal to enum.camera type custom. Now we will go ahead, play the game, and press deploy, and as you can see, that works perfectly. Now what we'll be doing is, I think, yes, so we'll create a function right here, get in menu. In fact, let's make that an _g function, _g dot get in menu. I'll explain what that does in a second. So we're gonna change that to a function, and after doing that, we'll get all of this, and we'll put that right here. Okay, so after doing that, we will change this to an _g function too. So so local original CF is equal to okay, so you want to remove this local from here and set the original CF to camera.cframe. After doing that, we will do _g function dot function. Get out of menu is equal to function, and again I'll explain what this does. So _g dot get out. Okay, so copy this, paste it here, and I spelled menu wrong. Okay, so that should be working now. Now, what is an _g function? So basically, it's kind of like a module script function, but worse. Well, not really, but it's pretty useful without having to make an entire module just for a menu. So you can call it from other scripts. So if let's say I want the player to get in the menu when they click a button, another button, I can just let me show you. So let's say I have this button right here. Let's put in the main screen GUI. Let's put it right here. Let's set the text to test, and I'm going to add a script to it. So script.parent.mouse button on click on connect function. Very simple. And _g dot get out of menu screen. So we're getting menu, and it should get us in the menu very easily. So if we just go ahead, press the test button, as you can see, we did not call the function. That's why we aren't in the menu yet, but when we click it, we are in the menu, and we can deploy, and it will still work perfectly. And yeah, that's literally it. I'm going to delete this button right here for now, and I think we will tween this. So tween service, create and camera, and tween info.new 2 seconds, and C-frame is equal to workspace dot camera part, or let's put that in square brackets, camera part dot C-frame, and then we'll play the tween, play, and that should be working. So now we're gonna call the _g dot get in menu function. _g dot get in menu, sorry, and that should be working now. So if you go ahead and wait 2 seconds, it should make our menu work. Okay, so I think that's going to be it for today's tutorial. If this helped, make sure to, oh, sorry. I wanted to make this transparent, and for some reason I deleted it. Make sure it's not collidable, and make sure that it's anchored, and that should be working. Okay, so yeah, I think this is going to be it for today's tutorial. If this helped, make sure to subscribe, like the video, share it with your friends, and I will see you all in the next tutorial. Bye!